My name is Juan Carlos Baranici. I'm the founder of Gold Bar Staffing, and I currently staff real estate professionals with highly trained remote executive assistants. We're on track to do 200K this month. We spent 22.45. I just got this from my media buyer about 10 minutes ago. 25 appointments, 12 showed, 7 qualified, meaning 5 were just not financially there. We closed one at 3,000. That's our initial staffing fee. And our lifetime value right now is 13 grand. So we have a really high retention. So it worked. And of the 7, 4 of them are interested and probably signing up in the next 2 months. We've noticed our biggest issue when it comes to conversion is for referrals, we have a 50% conversion rate, super easy close. For cold traffic, they always have to think about it for 2 to 6 weeks. And most of them end up purchasing, but there's this thinking phase where they just have to go through. So we kind of want to cut that short. And the biggest thing is the qualification. We're super cool with canceling calls, but how do we start targeting more of our ICP versus just bringing in anyone that wants an assistant?
All right, so here's a few thoughts I'm just going to rip through, and obviously you can send this to your media guy. So I try not to change things if they are working. So this is something I would consider testing, but here's a few thoughts, just I'm going to run through all of them. So number one, I would love for the primary text here to get to the main points way faster. So if you're if you're a real estate agent earning 250K a year, this was built for your level. Once you cross 250K, the constraint is an opportunity, it's capacity. There's a click-through rate on Meta that's not link click-through rate, but regular click-through rate. And that's the learn more thing. I would say a lot of people probably aren't reading all the way down to capacity. So I would rather start this with agents making 250K plus a year will buy you back 14 hours of your time or something like that. So immediately in the first line, you're saying the offer right there. The rest of this, I don't mind. What I would love to see is if you had some specific numbers. So for example, our average client saves about 18 hours a month working with our trained agent. Because the problem right now is this is intangible, right? It's oh, you'll get a virtual assistant, they'll do some tasks for you. And really to make things have a shorter sales cycle, it needs to feel okay, I'm going to do this and you're buying me back 20 hours within the next 30 days. That's that, or 20 hours a week in the next 30 days. That's what you need.
Develop the software to track how many hours they're actually saving, because as you mentioned, it's intangible, but everyone has an hourly rate. So your hourly rate, let's say, is $1,000 an hour. For you, it would be the equivalent of 300K a month if I could get you back 75 hours a month. So we actually are tracking this.
Okay. So I would start with putting it in. I would say real estate agents doing over 250K a year, we will save you at least 30 hours a month or you don't pay. Something like that. And I don't know if you have a guarantee. If you don't have a guarantee, then you don't have to do that.
We used to do that. We just don't know how to structure the guarantee in a way where it's
that protects you guys.
Correct. Because 30 hours, like I said, we could put down 30 hours worth of tasks, but it's anyone could come back and just kind of misfire. So that's where we got to, but we like the offer.
Yeah. So we can always take these in chunks, right? If this is working without a guarantee, I would probably try to do some of these changes. Don't do the guarantee, but then one way that you can implement urgency is to add the guarantee to that, right? So I would consider step one would be all the other stuff I'm talking about, making it tangible. Our average agent saves 20 hours a month, something like that. And then the second step would be structuring it so that, hey, we guarantee you'll save 20 hours a month or you don't pay. And then it's very simple. In the sales call, you're clear on what the guarantee includes. And then in the proposal, you're clear on what the guarantee approves. And in reality, we had a guarantee for almost 3 years. I mean, I don't know the percentage, but it was probably less than 5% of people actually qualified for the guarantee. Now, let's say 10% of people asked for it, but we would deny 5% of them, and then we would just try to fix it to make it work. And then the 5% of them we did give the money back to, but of course, the decrease in cost per book call, increase in show rate, increase in close rate because we had the guarantee way offset that 5%.
Yeah. Exactly. Good trade-off.
I would be curious if you could duplicate this and make one version that was a sales funnel page instead of a home page of a website, because this is good. But the problem is that I can hop around to different pages here and this opens up a new bars. I can go to join your Facebook group. So if you're getting $100 booked calls here, I would bet you could probably get it lowered by 30 to 50% by just making only one CTA on the entire page, and it's to book the free discovery call.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
The next thing is I would consider changing the CTA instead of book free discovery call is like see if you qualify. That's another thing that I would do. By saying book free discovery call, you will get more bookings, but you'll get less intent on those bookings, right? So you want to add some intent on there. By having this application on this page, I would start rerouting the applicants to either the disqualification page where they go to your YouTube channel or something like that, or you can put them on tier 1 or tier 2 calendars, right? So there's really 3 pages they can be directed to. One is DQ, you send them to a free course or a YouTube channel. 2 is tier 2, which is, okay, these people are pretty good, they're pretty qualified, but maybe their urgency isn't there, or they're right at the 250K a year, or whatever else it is. And so you can put that with your not as amazing sales reps, or you can make it so that in your block on your calendar, let's say just for easy numbers, you have 10 slots in a day, you can put 3 tier 2 slots a day, 7 tier 1 slots a day, and now you're leaving opportunity for the best people to always have opportunity to book within 48 hours, where the tier 2 might have to wait 2 or 3 days, but you really want to increase the sales velocity by doing tier 1. And then the final piece of this whole funnel that I think is going to make a big difference is you can put the pixel to only fire on tier 1 and maybe tier 2 leads, but not fire on the disqualification ones. Because right now, the way you have it is you're firing that pixel on Meta every time somebody books a call, irregardless if you cancel the call or not. That's what's going to optimize your campaign over time is the Meta pixel. The targeting doesn't matter at all after a certain point. It's literally just the pixel. If you're getting results, Meta's going to say, great, let's get more people that are getting this result. So you want to adjust the ability to tell Meta which people I want, and especially for you, which is like the 1% of your marketplace, you don't want the 99% of people that don't have any money. And so right now you're firing for all of those people. You said 5 out of 25 were actually qualified. So you really just want to do those 5 people. If you look at those 25 calls, 12 shows, if you were to look at the people that are automatically like DQ'd, or if you were to look at the last 20 or 50 sales calls and see which ones never close or never show or whatever else it is, bake that in the application. And that way those people don't even make it to the calendar. And so now you might have 2,500 in spend. You might have 30 or 35 calls because we increased the efficiency based on some of the changes that we were doing here. And then you might have, instead of 12 show, you might actually have 25 or 28 show because we're only letting people book who have a statistically higher chance of showing, regardless of what your pre-call system is. And then you have a higher close rate with these people and maybe a little bit more urgency because you, once again, are attracting the people based on the data that you know are going to close faster than the other real estate agent.
So basically just taking all the data from everything we're currently doing and just revamping everything. Yeah, amazing.
And essentially saying, who are the people that show up and close fast? And then what are the characteristics those people have? And then asking those application questions. And the important thing is, Juan, you don't like, if somebody does close, like you said, in 3 to 4 weeks, we don't want to not take those calls because that's how you get a higher return on ad spend. But you want to try to optimize the calls you're taking today for the people that are higher statistically chance of closing today.